Hi, my name is Frank. It's Friday. Time to kick back, relax, talk music. Today, checking out some stuff you guys sent, plus some random musings. Check this out. All right, happy Friday. Hope everyone had a good week. So this past week, I finally caught up on the whole Stranger Things series. Finally watched the season finale of this season, and I'm not going to give anything away, but holy crap, that was good. And if you're a Metallica fan, you're gonna love that last episode. I think epic is a good way to describe it. I'll tell you a little bit. I mean, the scene involves this guy in the show, Eddie. He's a metalhead. He plays guitar. And basically he does battle with these otherworldly spirits while jamming out on Metallica's Master of Puppets. Of course, now, no surprise, right? We've seen demand for Master of Puppets skyrocket. Discogs is saying that more people have been adding this, the Master of Puppets album, to their want lists. Streams have gone up, all that sort of stuff. It's not as drastic as what we saw with Kate Bush, but still, demand for Metallica is going up. So I'm assuming a lot of this is coming from young people, which is awesome, right? Master of Puppets, 1986, decades later, we're seeing young people getting into that. Good tunes, good albums, so that is only a good thing. Check out the episode if you have not seen it yet. A couple weeks ago, I went to the local record show. I only bought one record, and it was this one, the debut from Blue Cheer. This is like heavy psychedelic, heavy blues. In many ways, this was one of the cornerstones, or these guys helped create the foundation for heavy metal. These guys, Black Sabbath, that sort of stuff. If you haven't heard this album, you know the tracks on here, right? Summertime Blues, Dr. Please, all sorts of stuff. But the thing with the record shows is the lights at this one weren't great. So I took the record out, I inspected it, even in the viewfinder there, it looks okay. And then I brought it home. I paid $20 for it. This is a first Canadian pressing. I brought it home, and man, when you look at it closely in direct light, it's all scuffed up. It's in fair condition maybe, so whatever. I should have, buyer beware, right? I should have paid more attention because this is a great album. But after now having this and actually having it on vinyl and spinning it, albeit a bad version of it, this is a record I definitely want to get a nice version of. So if you haven't heard it, definitely check out the debut from Blue Cheer. I'm going to butcher the name of this if I try. I think it's Latin. Vincibus. Yeah, I'm not even going to try. Anyway, check it out. Let's get to the mail. This first package I got comes from Cami in Australia. Well, let me just show you this. Cami was a founding member and lead guitarist in this Australian band called Dangerous Curves. I've been talking about them before. I have the CD as well. These guys are so good. And as I say, I bought the digital files a while back. The band sent me an autographed copy of the CD. And Cami just said, hey, Frank, I got one more copy of this. I want to send it your way as a token of his appreciation, which is not necessary at all. I love to support and talk up good bands, and this is great. If you like early Def Leppard or mid-career Def Leppard, if you like Van Halen, if you like Bon Jovi, you're going to love this record, and it's a perfect summertime spin. Unfortunately, Cami's no longer in the band. He had to move cities in Australia and had to leave. He said it was a hard decision, which is always sad because I know how much effort he put into this band, both in promotion and songwriting and gigging and everything. So Cami, man, you rock. Thank you very much, my friend. And dear 33ers, check out Dangerous Curves. This album is called Summertime Highs. Cami, believe it or not, also sent me this. This is Fonzie, and he said he just put it in there as sort of a stiffener, not knowing that I'm a fan of Happy Days and of the Fonz. I haven't spun this one yet, so when I do spin it, I'll come back and talk more about it. And this is only one of, I've probably only got a couple of Australian pressings in my collection, this being one of them. And this was on the old Decca record label. I remember being a kid, man, I'd come home from school and watch reruns of Happy Days every day after school. And all my friends This was in the early 80s. Myself and all my friends, we wanted to be the Fonz. He was the epitome of cool. So I know Cam, you sent this as a stiffener, but it means a lot to me. I actually really do dig this record. Cheers, man. This one comes from Steve in Kentucky, and I won't read you the whole letter, but check this out. He said, "Dear Frank, I wanted to send you a little something to say thanks, and I think you may appreciate. When I decided to get back into vinyl, I was lucky enough to find channel 33 RPM. There is just something about listening to vinyl and having that large cover art. Your channel has been very informative about vinyl care and treatment. Since several records I am trying to find have not been repressed yet, when I do get a copy, I want to protect it as much as possible." Okay, he tells me about this record he's sending over. I'm just going to show it to you. So, Steve, thank you very much. This was a total surprise. Came in the P.O. box. Absolutely no need to say thank you, but I do appreciate this. Check this out. This is Crimson Glory. This is their self-titled debut from 1986. Roadrunner Records. This is the reissue. What did Steve write about this? He said that there's only 2,000 copies of this on silver vinyl. So let me show that aspect of this packaging to you. There you go. There's the record on silver vinyl. So Crimson Glory. This is a band I had heard of, but I was not familiar with, if that makes sense. I knew the name, but I had never heard them. So I was excited to check this out. I was excited to give these guys a spin. Crimson Glory, as I said, this is from 1986. They're from Florida, and they wore these, tell me if you can see this, they wore these kind of these silver masks. That was their thing, right? They're the pioneers of 80s progressive metal. They released 4 studio albums and 1 EP. They were often compared to early Queensryche, early Dream Theater. I can definitely hear those elements in this music. I'm also hearing, another band I would compare it to, another album I would compare it to is Savatage, Hall of the Mountain King, that kind of stuff. Interesting story with these guys. The original singer, Midnight, died in 2009, and Todd Latour, who is now in Queensryche, took over vocal duties in Crimson Glory in 2010. As I said, I've dug this album. I've listened to it a few times so far. My favorite tracks, as of this moment, are Dragon Lady and Queen of the Masquerade. The high-pitched vocals on Mayday are also out of this world. I'm definitely going to give this album some more spins. And I'm going to check out more of the discography from Crimson Glory. So Steve, thank you very much for thinking of me, and thank you for introducing me to the progressive metal world of Crimson Glory. So this one was interesting. Another package to the P.O. box. This time from Alex Strangle. Hope I got your name right there. June 16th, 2022. He writes, "Hi Frank. Again, I'm not going to read the whole letter, but just a couple excerpts. I so enjoy your YouTube channel. After 20 years, I'm getting into vinyl again. Years ago, I sold 3/4 of my collection to a local used record store for a song. I'm kind of kicking myself now. However, I did save 150 records I couldn't part with." All right, so now he's getting back into vinyl. And check this out. He says he has been a songwriter since 1978. And he says, "I thought I would send you a couple of my records. The Strobic Axe album is probably going to be the worst sounding album you'll ever have in your collection." Not true, but I'll get to that. "It was recorded on a 1-inch 8-track by an engineer who had no clue about what he was doing. It was released independently in 1981. The Bamboo record, I'll show you that, is a promo 12-inch that was on Capitol EMI in 1985. There's also a 7-inch. And that's the last music of his that he committed to vinyl in 1990. He says, "You can find a lot of things I've written and recorded in the last 22 years on YouTube under my name, Alex Strangle. I tried looking, but I couldn't find your channel, Alex. So maybe send me a link to that." But let me show you these records. This first one, and also he's from Ontario, Canada. He's from Canada. This first band, okay, this was 1978. This band is called Strobic Axe. So I've given this a couple of spins. This is the one Alex said will be the worst sounding record in my collection. It's not. I mean, it sounds very garagey, right? But it's not that bad. To me, it sounds like new wave with a dose of 80s punk, Sex Pistols, The Clash. It's raw, it's catchy, it's fun. I made notes here, I'm reading it. The bass is way up in the mix, probably a little too high. Maybe that was what Alex was referring to. Alex, by the way, is a guitar player. He plays guitar on here. Fake New Waver is my favorite track. Other tracks I liked on here was Yesterday. It had kind of a reggae police vibe to it. I also dig the sense of humor the band has, which is evident in this album cover and, you know, in some of the credits where like it's Mike Bell. Mike is MYQ, and he's the vocalist, VOKALIST, that kind of stuff. Anyway, this one was a fun listen. Here is that 12-inch from Capitol that Alex was talking about as well. This band is called Bamboo from 1985. This is several steps up from Strobic Axe in terms of production. It's new wave-ish, but with a distinct 80s pop flavor. Side A, this track Miles in My Mind. To me, it sounds like summer. I totally dig it. Good guitar work. And again, the bass really stood out. So I had to look up the band members online. And it turns out Ken Sanave, aka Spider, plays bass on here. And Ken is one of the best known and one of the best bass players this country has produced. He was never elevated to that superstar status, which is too bad, but he was one of the founding members of a local band here called Street Heart that had some minor success. A lot of success here, but in terms of the global scale, it was minor, but they were huge here. And then Ken went off to join Loverboy, and he plays in Loverboy to this day. So I thought that was very cool. I dug this record, Bamboo. Finally, Alex sent this 7-inch for this band called The Nation. This one was a little more country-ish, had a country vibe to it, and there is the label. That is my Friday update. Huge thank you to everyone who sent me stuff. Thank you to Alex, thank you to Steve, and thank you to Cammie. I enjoyed checking out all these records and finding some new to me music, except for Dangerous Curves. I knew those guys already and already dig them, so check them out. Thank you guys. You all rock. Until next time, keep on spinning.